Alrighty. I think I'm in. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. If you guys can hear me, I think you guys can. Trying to do something a little different, but we'll see. Okay. Um, this video was inspired by. Shout out to the brother Sarge Willie Pete. Shout out to the brother Rogish Son. This video was inspired by them. I know it's weird. So Sarge Willie Pete shared a Peter Zian interview. For those of you that remember, I shared something from him months ago, when he was speaking about, you know, China and different, pretty much the end of globalization, is what he was speaking about 6 months ago now. And listening to him, it reminded me also of Miss Swirler Queen herself, um, Miss Crystalline Karazin, and something she said years ago when, I want to say 101 East was covering, um, was it violence or like harassment on trains and stuff like that? I want to say either in Japan or South Korea. And she said something along the lines of like, why aren't we covering, all the DV in America amongst black men and black women? And she made it seem like black men were these raving lunatic monsters. Um, oh, did I do my intro? I don't know if I did my intro. Let me do my intro. What am I doing? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. How rude. I don't think I did my intro. All right. So yeah, and because she doesn't really understand what's going on, and there's a reason why white media isn't covering what you would like for them to cover in in the black community, because you really don't want to have the conversation of DV, because it's going to get real ugly real quick for women who initiate DV more than men do. But if you don't know that, then you're essentially asking for white society to undermine something that they've been planning forever for you and your little gripe with black men, right? And they're just not going to do it. Now, where am I going with all of this? Listening to Peter Zian, you really get a sense of how much the um, spying apparatus and how much of America is, really good at espionage and gathering information and everything else overseas in a country halfway around the world, such as China, right? Understanding the internal politics of other nations, um, everything from population to gender dynamic, everything, right? How the economy works, what's going on with the one party state, all of that. And when you realize that they can gather so much information, I mean, like they can literally drone bomb a small hut in the middle of Afghanistan, right? So, like, you know, um, when you realize that, you also realize how much they understand about the internal politics going on in the black community. And I'm really reminded about that. There's a couple of documentaries. One of them is Mississippi Spies that used to be on Netflix. I'm not sure if it still is, right? And it was a documentary called Mississippi Spies. Years ago, I remember watching it. Years and years and years ago. It got to be a decade now. Um, so there's that, and there's the PBS documentary about the Black Panthers, that I also watched years and years and years ago, where train tracks, where, towards the end of the documentary, they spoke about how they really didn't know that the government was going to come down so hard on them, which is something I heard echoed on in another documentary I watched with some white hipsters from like back in the day. No. Let me take that back. It was a another documentary I watched, an Adam Curtis documentary I watched maybe last year, if not the year before. And it was a white person this time that said pretty much the same type of thing. So apparently, when young people want to do something revolutionary, when they want to make a revolution, they don't really understand how much money and power is going to rain down on them, right? It's. I'm laughing to keep from crying because it's actually pretty sad. Um, and I'm saying all of this that's being said right now is there to essentially speak about um how much of the internal politics in America do others understand? I mean, does the government apparatus, the media apparatus understand? And how much they manipulate what's going on within the Black community and uses our pop culture, our music, our form of entertainment, our back and forth with this kind of gender war as a form of containment, right? And I'm really thinking about the swirlers and divestors when it comes to this in particular. Some of our SYSBM brothers, some of the passport bros, but really the swirlers and divestors. And I'm like, y'all do realize that they know, they hear y'all screaming, right? I'm thinking about that because I'm thinking about, like, you know, some of the sisters when they talk, they act like other people don't know what's going on in the Black community. I would like to remind you, they don't know detail to detail, but they know what you think about them. They know what you think about Black men. They know what you think about other non-Black people. They know, right? They are aware, and they will remind you every once in a while that they know, right? Um, and that speaks to something. That speaks to, like I was saying earlier, Black politics, Black entertainment being a form of containment, right? This one group of people who are sent, who you probably fear more than everybody else when it comes to making a revolution. I said it like that on purpose. Your your everything about your apparatus is about containing them, right? Keep them infighting, keep them being hyper consumers. And this is where mothers and fathers, but particularly mothers and single mothers come into play, where they're encouraged, because they've been indoctrinated, to raise their children to find their humanity in things, right? In materialism, in hyper materialism, in consumerism, right? That way you never have a revolution on your hands. You never have any part of the Black community that's on some um it's not just revolution. It's fighting back against whatever injustice they feel that exists or any of that. You don't have that because everybody's too busy trying to buy nice things, right? Everyone's too busy trying to buy nice things. Everybody's too busy trying to show off. Everybody's too busy trying to find their humanity in products. I've bought this up multiple times. I am reminded of when Sweetie, the entertainer, I guess I'll call her because she ain't a rapper. I guess she looks good enough. But when Sweetie was dating Quavo, and I guess she got something for her birthday from him or whatever, and I think he had bought her that Bentley Continental GT convertible, and or was it a Rolls? It was a Bentley. It was a Bentley. And I think he had bought her a Birkin, and she was like, "Well, if your man ain't buying you a Birkin, and it's just it's humanity through consumption, right?" Um, and you know, when you have a problem with this 40 some odd million population, and they're the population that tends to be the one to really be about that rah-rah shit, right? And they have some legitimate grievances, some real and legitimate grievances with America going back centuries, not decades, but centuries. And they're the one demographic whose grievances actually make sense, and this country owes. A lot of your politics will be in, or a lot of your apparatus will go into containing that group, right? And that group's worldview and that group's concept of even revolution, whether Overton window for revolution is, whether Overton window for humanity is, how you tell them to find their humanity, which once again is through being institutionalized, y'all call it education, and through living vicariously through media figures, and through once again consumption and materialism. And if you look at black politics over the better part of the past 4 decades, that is exactly what it's been. Name the politician, or even um, um, not even really social media influencer, but name the politician or name a social commentator or any one of these talking heads in the black community that have said anything worth a damn over the past, I don't know, 4 to 5 decades. Khalil Muhammad? Who else y'all got? Seriously, Khalil Muhammad and who? For a second, maybe Jesse Jackson? Who else? Name the black entertainer that has said anything worth a damn, I don't know, over the past 40 years. Everything about them is making music for you to party and dance to and drink to and generally feel good, which on the surface isn't a bad thing until you realize that that is, to me, it reminds me of K-pop music, right? So like, I used to listen to K-pop heavy before BTS, and what struck me about K-pop music is how poppy it was, how orchestrated it was. It was even more orchestrated than American music, which is saying a whole lot. And how much of it was all about feel good stuff. And like when you really when it hits you, you realize how orchestrated it is even more than you thought it was before, right? And that, I would argue, is kind of where American entertainment is in general, but particularly American entertainment directed towards black people, right? And all of this was inspired by listening to Peter Zian speak earlier, um, when he was being interviewed by Joe Rogan. But it also just reminded me of some of the conversations we were having yesterday, um, on Rogish channel, right? And by the way, Firestream Rogish did a 10-hour stream yesterday. Goddamn, right? So, you know, and like I said, this was inspired by a couple of people, mainly Rogish and Sarge Willie Pete. But it reminded me, and for those of you that didn't hear, it reminded me of what's her face, Crystal and Kerosene, um, speaking a couple years ago about a documentary, kind of one of those mini docs that 101 East does on, I want to say, Al Jazeera. And they were speaking about either some back and forth between men and women, either in South Korea or in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. And Crystal and Kerosene came out her mouth like, well, they need to do one about, what's going on in Black America and DV and all this other stuff. And I just remember like, no, you're going to mess up their money. Like, you think you want that documentary because you think that men initiate DV. You think you want that documentary because you don't realize how much DV is mutual combat. You think DV is men walking in the house asking where my meatloaf is and decking their girlfriend or their wife in the face. That's why you want the documentary. You don't know how much the media apparatus knows better, and that's why they don't want to make that documentary. Right? And I remember thinking that when she said it years ago. Right? Like, you don't even understand what the hell you're actually asking for. Right? And that lets you know how much ignorance is bliss. When somebody asks for something and they're actually undermining what they think they want. Or what they actually want. They're asking for something, undermining themselves, and it's one of those like, don't interrupt a fool when they're making a mistake type thing, right? But yeah, so watching these things, it reminds me of Mississippi Spies. It reminds me of just everything I've watched over the past few years that just speaks to these people understand what's going on internally in the black community. They see the gender war. They hear the screeching from the swirlers and the divestors. They know about the, oh, I'm gonna go get me a white man, da 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 da. They know. They hear you. They hear you screaming. right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. They hear you screaming. They hear you. They hear the black community. They know about passport bros. They know. Shout out to Kim from Fort Harriet. Well, maybe we need to get the government to kind of investigate. They know about passport bros already. Artard, smart dumb nigga. And I'm sorry to be so animated when it comes to Kim from Fort Harriet, but that whole smug, but I'm not smug thing is just right. For any one of you that ever been around that person, right? They're smart. They're legitimately intelligent, but they might be more arrogant than they are intelligent, and it actually kind of rubs everyone the wrong way, and it actually hurts them in the long run, right? But the internal politics, these people know about the internal. They know about passport bros. They know about you, black women and luxury women. They know about you, black women in luxury movement. Important to stress the movement part. They know. And as a matter of fact, that they would rather you be that hyper consumer because you pose no threat to no one ever, right? Yeah, get them buying expensive bags for no reason because their inferiority complex or their internal humanity is shot, right? Their sense of self-esteem is shot, so they try to find it through products and things. Yeah, let them continue doing that. That way they'll never be a threat and they'll never raise a child that's ever a threat to anything ever. Talk about into history. Ain't nothing to fight for no more except to buy nice things. Losers. Right? So yeah, you know, yeah, I'm watching the interview and I'm thinking about that because I'm thinking about how much Peter Zian knows about the internal politics of China, right? And Russia, right? And he's not the only one. He's not the only one that kind of goes on these kind of lecture circuits and do these type of interviews and give you the play by play of what's going on in different countries um, in detail. But if they can do that for hermit countries like North Korea, if they can do that for like one party states that essentially has like this one dictatorial leader such as Xi or Vladimir Putin in Russia, if they can do that overseas, then you gotta know they know exactly what's going on in the black community in America. Right? You gotta know they know. And you gotta know that they're also manipulating what's going on. I mean, we know that they've been saying that for decades. Which would speak to why the conversation often between black men and black women in the black community devolves into, well, you ain't as good as the white people anyway. Shout out to you swillers and divestors thinking you doing something revolutionary. And like Miss Yonder said, divesting is black women's feminism. No, the concept of divesting is old and weird and it ain't gonna work because that's the answer the powers that be gave you because it's not gonna work. Yes, not even for black women. Loser. Yeah, because the powers that be, their answer is going to be an answer that's actually liberating and liberatory. Yeah, that's it. That's actually going to challenge their power structure. Yeah, that's it. Oh, I forgot. You're too busy trying to be a white woman. Oops. Right. And they're gonna close it somehow. You strike me as a K-pop nigga. Z. At one point, I was listening to K-pop. It got too poppy. It got too repetitive. And by the time BTS started blowing up, um, and became the face of, because I was listening when like Super Junior was hot, Big Bang was hot, 21 was hot, like stuff like that, right? Um, by the time BTS really started blowing up, because there's a couple of their older stuff that I remember, but by the time they started blowing up and like became the face of K-pop, I was already off of it. It became way too. They took the pop formula of the '90s with NSYNC and 98 Degrees and stuff, and they like steroids. Like they added steroids to like pop, like American um pop music from like the '90s. It just became way too commercialized and repetitive and contrived, and I couldn't do it. Right? Yeah. So yeah, you know, and when you watch a lot of the dances and the music, all you see is like '90s pop dances, which is like you could trace the line back to like the Jacksons type shit. Like you could trace the line right through the '90s, through the '80s with New Edition in them, all the way through the '70s to the Jacksons. Like you could trace the line from K-pop all the way back. Yeah, you could see like Aaliyah style choreography. Like you could see it, right? You could see the black choreographers in LA, in New York, like being an inspiration to whoever, who's an inspiration to whoever, who's an inspiration to like some freaking Korean person in California, who's an inspiration to the Korean pop music dancers, like in South Korea. You could follow the line. So yeah, yeah. Right. So like yeah, it yeah, it I could it just got weird and yeah and like I've said this before, like the thing with K-pop is like they're not loyal to any one genre, so in one song it will have like multiple different genres of music in one song, because the Koreans are just not like, I listen to hip hop and that's what the hell I listen to, period. Right? Or I listen to like ballads and like R&B and like stuff, and that's what I listen to, period. Like the young, like, and then once again when it got global, like all the little screaming white girls from around the world, Britain, Canada, America, um some of the other East Asians that listen to K-pop music and whatever, they're not like, these are the type of people that as they get older they listen to Drake. So like they're not loyal to any like genre of music. They don't have any allegiances to anything. They just want to listen to whatever is hot and new, and like, they get their little prepubescent Chinese wet off of um the skinny Asian dude with the green hair or the pink hair. Yeah. Right. So like yeah, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. So the K-pop music is like an amalgamation of like a bunch of different stuff, and you could see it not just in the actual different artists, but like one artist on one album on one song. Right. So yeah. um but back to the conversation at hand. Yeah, so it, like I said before, K-pop, like I said, K-pop, sorry, um American, Black American kind of pop culture, um politics, what's going on, the conversation that's going on socially, and I think that's why we keep on reverting back to the man woman conversation over and over again. Because yeah, it's entertaining, and it's something that never ends. The relationship between men and women, particularly in the Black community, the power dynamics, the power fight that all the swirlers and divestors pretend like that's not the biggest gripe that they have with Black men, is that Black men just won't sit down, shut up, and kiss their rear end and buy them some nice shit. Um, like how they think white men do it. Okay. Um, or like, why can't you just accept the matriarchy, right? Which like watching Kim from For Harriet speak um about the passport bros and speak about Kevin Samuels to the young man Tony. Like I'm just waiting for her to just come out and just say it. Like accept, eat, because she had a real issue with Tony saying like the Black community is a matriarchy, because it's a matriarchy. And because if you as a woman like Kim, remember Kim is like down that Oprah lane, that Shonda Rhimes lane, like the well spoken, the intelligent, the the female leaders of their space, but that don't want to accept that that is what they are, because because everything starts to make sense. Like when you accept that the black community is a matriarchy, for us we say gynocracy, but for argument's sake, for them to understand, when you accept that the black community is a matriarchy, then everything that black men do in the passport bros and SYSBM and black men dating out makes sense. It makes sense that a man is like, I'm not going to be subject to the rule of no woman. And women that refuse to accept responsibility, or better yet, accountability when things go wrong in the relationship between the man and the woman, right? And it makes so much more sense also why white society shores up black women in a particular way that it doesn't shore up black men. All of that stuff starts to make sense. So that's why people like Kim have a knee-jerk reaction to accepting that the black community is a matriarchy, because everything that black men do and say from that point on it just falls into place. It's like dominoes. It just makes so much more sense why black men move the way they move, right? Especially black men of means. They're like, why would I ever, if I make 70 plus 80,000 plus dollars a year, why would I ever subject myself to the whims of a woman who, not even if, when it shits the fan, now the black community, now our household is a patriarchy. Now it's all this patriarchal talk, but she's been leading from behind the entire time, right? And that's something you see oftentimes with the Kim from Fort Harriets. They don't want to speak about the back and forth. It's not wayward black men running the black community into the ground. It's not these failed patriarchs. No, the black community is a matriarchy. As a matter of fact, that's one of the gripes that the swirlers and divestors have, right? I'm tired of having the black community on my back. I'm tired of all these loser black men. The black community is a matriarchy. Gynocracy for us, but you know. And that speaks to the internal politics. I always find it fascinating that these people speak about white supremacy and they get it. And they never think, you think white men, the same type, me and Kim know the same type of white men. You think the Muhaha white men going back to the plantation were going to empower the men over the women? The same insidious white dudes? Slavery, Jim Crow, late Jim Crow in the 1950s and 60s, coming out of Jim Crow in the mid 70s on up. The same type of white men that turn around and tell you that the black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party, black women are the backbone of the black community. Those same white men that help black women to practice benign neglect within the black community towards black men. Those same white men, you think they were going to empower the men over the women within the black community? You mean the same white men that every chance they get, they want to go overseas and empower the women to screw over the men? You mean the same white men that said, oh, we're going to send 20-something million to Pakistan for gender studies? Those white men? Those white men, we've seen it. We've seen the interviews where they interview the women with the men and they're like, oh, these women ain't talking. Let's see if we could separate the women from the men and then ask them questions about what's going on in their familial situation. Those same white men that do that when they go overseas to the Middle East, you think those same white men empowered the men over the women in the black community? Are you on drugs? Right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. That's why a lot of these weirdo feminists, they don't. they don't actually want to have a real conversation about how the black community is different than. As a matter of fact, even Donovan from the Grapevine slipped up and called the black community a matriarchy years ago. He called he Donovan called it for what it is. The back and forth power play between black men and black women is because the black community is a matriarchy, and these niggas just won't sit down. He essentially said it years ago. I want to say this was maybe, what are we in, 2020? I want to say maybe Donovan said that's back in like 2018 or something, 2017 or something like that. And this is a gay black man who is like the super ally of black women. And he called it because it's so evident. Once he got out of blowing smoke up a black woman's rear end every 5 seconds on the Grapevine for a moment, and this was towards the end. If I could find that episode where he said it, because it was towards the end of an episode that he said it. It wasn't towards the beginning or in the middle. It was towards the end. Diaspora said, "I remember that." Yeah, it's so evident, and that's why I have a big issue with the Kim from Fort Harriet's, because they don't want to be. When Tony said that, and you saw her somewhat cringe. She didn't want to accept it. Accept it, Kim. Come to the light, because everything else makes so much more sense. Shout out to and really shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. Y'all are the colonizing agents of the black community, Kim. And that's why when oftentimes, not all the times, but oftentimes when black men get a little bit of money, they run. It reminds me of all those women that talk about all of these two man, one woman marriages that like some of them exist in Central Asia. They never speak about the fact that once one of those men gets his feet under him, he runs. All those women that talk about, yeah, we don't have, it doesn't have to necessarily be polygamy. It could be polyandry. Two men, one woman. They never talk about the fact that often the way the relationships end with two women, two men is not the way it ends with two men, one woman. Or I'm saying that wrong. The way the relationships end with two women, one man is not the way they often end with two men, one woman. Once one of those men get his legs under him, he runs, which is exactly what happens in the black community often. Is men of means, they marry out. What's the likeliness that all of these men are making this up, going back centuries? All these black men are making up the fact that the black community is run by black women with an iron fist. And the men that have the means, they either marry the one-off woman from, and that's even why you get oftentimes back in the day. Me and BGS had this conversation. What were young men told from the city? Go marry you a country girl. That's why you always, even in white society, you always get men trying to go somewhere else where the women aren't on some boss hog shit. That's, first of all, that's not even exclusive to black people, to black Americans. Men everywhere always try to go somewhere where the women are just a bit more pliable. That's a man thing. That's why passport bros is nothing new to white dudes, particularly white men in the military. But Kim can't accept that because it makes too much sense. Everything falls like the once you accept the black community of matriarchy and black men of means and black, and that's, once again, I would like to direct that not just to Kim but to Ostefco. Right? Once again, the internal politics of the black community. How would you think it would go any other way? You forgot what country you're in? I'm always fascinated by these people who speak about this this patriarchy, yeah, for like rich elite white men, or maybe some of your middle class white dudes, but you think the black community is a patriarchy? The black American community in this white supremacist system? Yeah, that's it. When you put a microphone in a black woman's face, the first thing that comes out of her mouth is how horrible black men are, right? And grinding her teeth into dust, she tells you how she let her black man lead. You think the black community is a patriarchy when we just saw what Beyonce mom said to did in front of what's his name, her new husband, on camera, but the black community is a patriarchy? You think the black community is a patriarchy and Oprah still ain't married Stedman yet? You think the black community is a patriarchy? What are the complaints of the black men who marry out? Going to James Earl Jones, what do they say? Talk about the internal politics of the black community in America. What do these men say? Right? And when the US government goes overseas, Kim, you both of us know the US government ain't going overseas to bring about for any humanitarian stuff for real, for real. So when they go empower women overseas, what you think that's about? Oh, wait a minute, let's talk about it. When they go overseas and they start handing out pamphlets to the women and they start opening women's schools and girls' schools, yeah, that's because they really want to see the girls in Afghanistan do well, right? Oops, right? Because they really care that much about what the women in Kurdistan are doing, or in Pakistan, or name the South Asian country, the women in Indonesia. Yeah, because they really care about that, right? So if they're doing that overseas, halfway around the world, what the hell you think they're doing to black people in America? How do you think they're manipulating the internal politics of black people in America? See, it's easy to talk surface level of, feminism destroyed the black community and black women, and they Faustian bargained with white feminists. Yeah, that's surface level. Y'all still don't even want to accept that Gloria Steinem was a freaking CIA operative. Y'all still pretend like we're making that up. So, you know, I'm about to end out in a minute. I really want to stress, if these people have their hands in their ears, in their eyes, all over the internal politics of another nation, then you gotta know they know what's going on in the black community and are manipulating what's going on in the black community. Much of what we're doing is not as revolutionary as we think it is. It's not as new and cunning and cutting edge as we think it is. Particularly you swirlers and divestors, especially the way you speak, because you speak like a white racist, worse than a white racist, because even a white racist wouldn't say half the things you're saying on the internet in public for everyone to see. So of course, If they're talking about going to, oh yeah, we're 20 something million dollars gender studies in such and such country, Pakistan, Pakistan, right? The first thing they want to talk about is opening girls' schools in whatever African country, and y'all don't understand what's going on. No, Kim, you're not that dumb. You're not dumb. I'm not even gonna say you're biased, so because we all are as human beings. A Harvard attendee, I'm not sure if she graduated or not, but either way, or a Harvard alum, no, you're not dumb. Willfully ignorant, yeah. Dumb, no. Stupid, no. Putting your finger in your ears and covering your eyes and saying la 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 la. I'm not gonna look in that direction. Nope, nope. I don't want to know. No, I don't want to know. Yeah, that. Yeah, you definitely doing that. Especially what you were Africana studies. Yeah, you know better. Oh yeah, you definitely know better. You're purposely not looking in a particular direction. You're purposely trying not to understand what black men are saying. Why would you ever support Kevin Samuels? Because Kevin Samuels was one of the first people in a couple decades to answer the fake ass Oprahs like you. You know, the ones that just want black men to shut up and sit in the corner and know our place and accept the matriarchy that you refuse to admit exists. Y'all gonna keep on pretending like y'all don't know why men listen to Kevin Samuels? Why black men listen to Kevin Samuels? Oh, I forgot. It's because we're just sexist monsters wanting to step over black women and rule over black women. Yeah, that's it. And what of all the materialistic, consumeristic minded black women that called into Kevin every other night? What about that? Why were they calling? Because they had a, oh yeah, I forgot. It's only because they had a low self-esteem. Yeah, that's it. And they had daddy issues. Not because they were looking for a meal ticket. They were looking for a lifestyle provided to them by a man. No, not that. Not nope, nope, not at all. Uh-huh. The truth be staring y'all in the face and y'all refuse to accept it. The truth is staring y'all in the face. Centuries. Even bro, she's reading Richard Reeves of Boys and Men, and I watch her completely ignore the fact that he's going on interviews. Richard Reeves is all over the place going on interviews and saying how women, not just the system, not other men, but women bench men that they deem what unappealing or didn't contribute a certain way, and they bench the fathers of these boys. They bench the fathers of these girls. And I watch her pretend like what other people aren't reading the same book, Miss Kim? Other people aren't watching Richard Reeves interviews? You gonna pretend like he ain't call out Kimberly Crenshaw? Oh, I saw. Well, you ain't mentioned that part though, did you? He's calling her out by name, calling out how she pretty much used intersectionality to benign neglect black boys and black men. You ain't got nothing to say about that part now, do you? Oops. Yeah, you're gonna quote the white man to pretty much say men gotta solve this issue, but you ain't gonna quote the white man when he calls out the black woman for using intersectionality to ignore the plight of black boys and black men. Yeah, you're not gonna mention that part, are you? Once again, disingenuous is crap. Like I said, that ignorance is bliss stuff, that the truth is staring you in the face and you're ignoring it because all of your house of cards comes down if you accept that the black community is a matriarchy. If you accept that intersectionality, when it's done really good, is elevate black women over black men and, quite frankly, other minority groups in America at the detriment in the long term of even black women. because the men are never going to accept playing second fiddle to not just, it's not just because you're women, no, playing second fiddle to a person who's never going to accept responsibility when they crash the ship into an iceberg. It got to be the system, or it got to be white folks that drag you kicking and screaming excuse me, to accepting responsibility, right? Excuse me. And I'm reminded, excuse me, I'm reminded of this for all of you that ever saw that clip of, and I'm trying to hold back this damn cough that randomly came sneak up on me. This is how it works now in my life. Um, that clip of the black woman, I think something had happened to her child. Either the child was sexually harassed or something happened to the child. And she tried to play victim and be all super sad in the courtroom. And the white judge, man, flamed her. No, this is your fault because you could have did it like this and you did this and you did that. The other story of the black mother that went clubbing and something happened to her child in the apartment or in the hotel when she went clubbing, or she went somewhere, she went to a concert or something like that. The judge flamed her too, right? There's multiple stories of white male just flaming black mothers, because if that doesn't happen, they will always play victim. Or even the judge that flamed the black woman who tried to blame her baby daddy for not being involved, and the judge, white male judge, flamed her. What am I saying? Kim, these things are staring y'all in the face, but y'all are so hell-bent on some way backdooring how black men ain't ish. Once again, and by the way, these judges know that, especially the family court judges. I have friends that are police officers. They'll tell you, bro, y'all don't really want to know what's going on in these homes. People know, like the theme of this video, people know the internal politics of what's going on in the black community. Non-black people know. They know, right? And thanks for the super sticker, Oliver the Gray. They know. They know about y'all same-sex DV because y'all fighting over some penis. I'm not joking. One of the most open kept secrets in the black community is a bunch of these lesbians ain't really lesbians. They bi as hell. Whether it's the femme or the butch one, they're cheating on each other with a dude. They know about the internal politics of black women keep on claiming loyalty to black men, but yet y'all smashing some white dude at y'all job. They know about how y'all beating the crap out of y'all children in these homes and being mad abusive to y'all children in these homes, particularly your sons. They know why y'all daughters are moving out mad early, 16, 17, 18, your daughter out the door. Right? Y'all think they don't know. They know. They know. Right? Let me get some breakfast, y'all. I've been sitting in this parking lot for like 20-some minutes. Longer than that. Right? Let's get some breakfast. Give me a second, y'all. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. All right, y'all. I am back for a minute. I have to get my food together. Yep. Oh, I didn't see. We got Kev from Black Men Being Brutally Honest. What's going on, Kev? And Kev said Kevin Samuels had a large female audience. Women have found my channel because of KS. Um, ahem. Toya cheers, clear throat. Right? Thank you, Toya. Exactly. Did everyone hit the like button? Exactly. Thank you, Toya. Y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, right? And there's a reason because I think these people, I think what they propose is dangerous. The Kims of the world, because okay, you want to get rid of patriarchy, but was the black community ever a patriarchy? Was the black community in America ever a patriarchy, or did you have the very faintest of shadows of one, maybe coming out of Reconstruction, and maybe for about, if even a decade, around the 1940s ish, right? And I'll pause right here again. You guys give me a second. And we are back. Let me move some stuff, put the cards in the right pockets in my wallet. Hey, you have a mini existential crisis when you put your debit card or one of your cards in the wrong pocket in your wallet, and then you're looking for it, and it's in your wallet. It's just not in the exact same pocket that you usually put it in. And for a second, your heart stops. For a nanosecond, you start questioning. Wait a minute. Did I leave it with these people? Did I leave it there? Did I? Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Right. Only for half a second do you have a mini heart attack. Damn, did they start swiping already? Right? Then you get a glimpse of it in your wallet and you're like, oh, okay. I am saved. I almost gave myself a heart attack. Right? But yeah, so, you know, um, I think that's what makes these people dangerous. Um, the Kim from Fort Harriets is because they just refuse to accept, like, just accept what is right now, and then we can move on, and maybe we can have a more honest, genuine conversation. But at first, you have to accept. Even, I mean, like, the reason why I brought up the gay dude that like always ride with y'all no matter what. And I'm not trying to be insulting to Donovan by any stretch of the imagination, but just saying, like, Donovan had to come to terms with the fact that I kind of understand where these Negroes coming from. They no 10 toes down man worth his soul is gonna ride out with the matriarchy. None. Train tracks, right? And especially a matriarchy where, like, it's always gonna be the black man's fault. Oh, hell no. And you could tell how he came to the acceptance of it, came to the acceptance, and how of, like, the gender war. First of all, the black community's default matriarchy. So Donovan admitted that. Then, in acknowledging that, then opens up why the gender war, and the fact that the gender war is not men once again coming home, realizing their food is not on the table, and then backhanding women and children in the house, which is what black feminists pretended was going on in the black community all through the 70s, late 60s, 70s, and 80s because white women wanted to hear that story. So because white women wanted to hear that story, black women told that story. Now, how accurate that story was, it was a bunch of crap. It was a bunch of crap. And that's why I'm saying these people are dangerous. They're dangerous because of the lies they tell to get a couple of white female dollars, because white feminists want to hear y'all tell black men are the worst thing on the planet type stories, and y'all do it. For white female academic dollars. Oh, I didn't realize we have a what's this person? Sham Nam. When have black men ever been loyal to black women? Crickets chirping. Ma'am, we know about you sleeping with the white dude at the law office. What you talking about? Oh, oops. Oh, you thought we didn't know? You think you're loyal? Oh, you thought we ain't know? Stop questioning black men's loyalty when you ain't loyal neither. The black community, we got a bunch of Uncle Remuses walking around here, light skinned with freckles. Where he came from? Not black women. Black women like this keep on claiming loyalty because they think we don't know they're giving it up to Raul at the law office. They think we don't know. They think we don't know that they smashing the white dude after lunch break on the factory floor. Ma'am, we know. I know you think that black men are these big, dumb idiots, right? We're walking idiots, right? We're big apes. I know you think that, but believe it or not, the white guys are snitching y'all out. The Latino men are snitching y'all out. You know, the same guys that aren't marrying y'all are having sex with y'all. You think we don't know. We know. Shit, other black women are snitching y'all out. I don't even got to mention the white guys and the Latino dudes. The other black women, you know your homegirl that you told the story to? Yeah, she's snitching y'all out. She telling her boyfriend. No, you want the attention? No, let's put your comment up. And what she said again? When have black men ever been loyal to black women? Crickets chirping. We already got the documentation of how many of y'all got mixed children out of wedlock. You want to have that conversation? Why y'all think the world don't know? Y'all need to stop with the loyalty talk. Stop claiming loyal. Stop implying that black men aren't loyal when black women aren't, this air quotes, loyal. Everybody in America is having sex with everybody in America. When it's time to get married, that's when black women's feelings get hurt. Right? And thanks Kenyatta for the super sticker. Right? That's when black women's feelings get hurt, because that's when the white men remind y'all, yeah, that was a lot of fun bedroom fun, but yeah, I'm still racist as crap and I'm not marrying you. That's when the Latino dude, I mean, we see it all over South Florida. We see it in New York. We see it in Chicago. We see it in LA. How many of these Latino dudes are smashing black women and they not, oh, in Texas, I'm sorry, also smashing black women, not marrying them. They're racist as crap. Stop claiming loyalty because the Latino dude won't marry you. Stop claiming loyalty to black men because the white guy won't marry you. And I'm not even going to mention the Asians. It's never been a thing with Asian men. That's not even a conversation to have. And I'm not saying that, once again, notice what I'm not doing. I'm not talking about black women's attitude. I'm not talking about black women's weight. I'm saying these non-black men are that damn racist. Well, they'll have bedroom fun with you, but putting a ring on your finger, it was never part of the conversation. It was never a thing. And because black women think black men don't know that y'all having sex with these non-black men, y'all keep on claiming loyalty and insinuating that black men are some super type of non-loyal. Look at that interracial marriage rate between Asian women and white men and Asian women. You want to claim loyalty? Get out of here. Name the group of people that have the choices and are just sticking with their air quotes own. When Asian men get a chance, they marry out, they marry white women. Latino men marry white women. If they if they can elevate past the mestizo almost looking white women in the Latino community and get them a white woman, they'll get them a white woman. Yeah, it's that bad. You think the black community's colorist, you ain't seen shit. Okay. I'm gonna have to work on that pronunciation. Yeah. Okay. When I watch the replay, I'm gonna try to pronounce this to myself over and over again, right? And we're gonna work on what phonetic pronunciation, I think it's called. Yeah. But the rest of your comment is the civil rights movement and the dead bodies of black men was our loyalty. You're treacherous. You treacherous. 304. Look, bro. It I people like that, the women like this, they talk like that because they think the rest of once again these people know our internal politics. Number one. Number two, they talk like this because they think we don't know. They think we don't know. Like I said, your own homegirls are snitching y'all out. Let alone the white guys. Y'all do know we go to happy hour with the white dudes, right? And we go drinking and we play basketball with them and we play football with them. You know they letting us know they smashing Keisha, right? You know Juan is letting us know all that talk you have about, oh, I need a black man with that's this tall and has this physique. Juan is like 5'4". I'm exaggerating. Juan is like 5'6". And is shaped like every other Mario in the country, and yet you gave him some vagina. You're taller than Juan, and yet you gave him some vagina. Ladies, I'm just look. We're attracted to what we're attracted to. Different people are doing different things all over the country. Like I said, I don't do this whole who's loyal to who type conversation because I know everybody's having sex with everyone. No one had to tell me that. I had it confirmed as I've worked in different places throughout my young adulthood. Everyone is having sex with everyone. It's when it comes time for people to present you as their spouse. First as their girlfriend, then as their wife. That's when everything gets turned upside down. That's when race really starts to matter. That's when the Latino dudes and the white dudes start hurting black women's feelings. All right? That's when black women's feelings start getting hurt. That's when they start claiming that black men aren't loyal. No, I was having sex with the white woman. You were having sex with the white dude. The difference is the white girl said yes when I asked her to marry me. You've been waiting for the white dude to marry you for 10 years and he ain't say nothing. That's the difference. Now, yeah, the divorce rate amongst black men and white women is higher. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But the white guy didn't even consider it. And I ain't even gonna mention the Latino dude. That's not even a question. Stop it. And once again, Asians, that's not even a part of the conversation. I don't even know where Issa Rae was going when she mentioned Asian men. Stop it. What happened? Where did a young lady win? She disappeared on us. Right? And Trump Bentley said, Viva la Raza, mejor la Raza. Improve the race. That's what Latinos be on. Right? Improve the race, right? Y'all think you have a group of people in the Latino community that have terms like mejor la Raza. You have the South Asians who have a whole entire caste system loosely, strictly based off of color. And y'all think those type of men are just gonna be wifing up black women left and right? The South Asians, particularly the Indians, bought over the caste system and are practicing it in Silicon Valley, and the lower castes are complaining about it. And you think those same men are rushing to marry black women? You want to talk about black men's lack of loyalty? Are you crazy? Sleepy Hacker said Latino men have big bertha with all them mixed kids though can't cap. Yeah, I mean, like that's one of the terms. That's one of the things that go on in the black community. I mean, the Latino community when the light skinned cousins start beefing with the dark skinned cousin always throws in their face that they have a dark skinned grandma, right? Because they have real issues with colorism in the Latino community that make the Black American community colorism conversation look like a joke. And I'm not saying there's not a conversation to be had about colorism in the Black community, but when you look at what's going on in every other place on the planet, the Black American colorism conversation is a joke. Once again, I'm not saying it's real. I'm saying when you put it in the larger conversation of colorism globally, it's a joke. It's a joke. Because that light skinned Afro Latina cousin, mulatto cousin, almost white, the Mariah Careys of the Latino community, the way they be talking about the Marilyn Negros of the Latino community, oh no, it's a problem. I grew up with them. It's a problem. For all my niggas from New York, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. All of us from South Florida, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right? Yeah, better stop playing. Damn, the Latino community almost went to World War III over Trump, goddamn. It was real as hell in South Florida over Trump. And you got some random chick in my comments talking about black men, why black men aren't loyal. Pfft. Meanwhile, in the Latino community, got terms like Mejor La Raza. Man, if you don't get out of here, you don't. And that goes to what I was saying earlier. So much of the conversation with black men and black women comes from a place of ignorance. Black women really don't know what's going on in other places, in other communities, in America, in their backyard, in their own city. So when they speak about black men, it comes from this insane level of ignorance, right? And thank you, Better You, for the super chat. Better You said attention is not the same as intention. A lot of people will anyone for fun, but commitment is different. Exactly, brother. Exactly. Exactly. Right? Exactly. And they think we don't know. That's the thing. Black women think black men don't know. Like I told y'all, you know how many everybody snitching y'all out. The dude you're having sex with is snitching you out. Your black homegirls are snitching you out. Your white homegirls are snitching you out. But because you think black men don't, and by the way, this is not a recent phenomenon. Let me dead that right now. This is not something that's just been going on over the past decade. No. Black women and black men, like everybody else in the country, been doing what they've been doing. The only difference is once again when it's time to get married, the white guy treats you like he don't know you. Then you want to claim loyalty to black men. You're not air quotes loyal to black men. It's just that this choice or this option you thought you had, you don't got it. I want you to think Nicki Minaj, Taraji P. Henson, Carrie Hilson, all of these Hollywood black women, all of these black women who could have, they were attractive enough or are attractive enough to pull the white dude also. And they tell y'all straight up, no. Just because y'all see Eve and Serena with the white dude. Um, um, Nicki Minaj told y'all try to live vicariously through me. Y'all want to use me as relationship goals. They know. What's her face? Y'all saw her kissing up on a white dude. Now she pregnant from a black dude. Keke Palmer. Y'all remember what a couple years ago when we saw the picture of her kissing up on the white dude? So the black women, the famous black women with the means, still ain't with the white dudes heavy. What y'all think that's about? Oh, they're just in love with struggle, love with black men. They don't really understand their choices. You try to tell me you know better than the rich, famous black women. All the rich, famous black women going back pretty much to the 70s. And even the one that ended up with the white dudes, Diana Ross, she's still with the white. Oh, oops, God, nope, nope, nope. Yeah, well, there's that. Whoopsie. Name them. Halle Berry was with black dudes, black dudes, black dudes. White dudes got the white dudes fighting outside with during Thanksgiving or something like that. I remember the story, if I remember the story correctly. Now she with a black dude again. All that crap she talked about black men ended up having kids from white dudes, and now she's with black men again. Man, if y'all don't stop playing, did Nina Simone stay with the white dude? Name them. Etta James at her, not Etta James. Yeah, that too. But what's her face? Eartha Kitt. Well, I said Etta James instead of Eartha Kitt, but that's another one. Eartha Kitt was another one at the height of her career. Could have had a white dude. What happened? Nope. Who else? Who y'all want to name? And then especially with this explosion of pop culture, all your R&B singer, Maya over here marrying herself, bro. Monica stay in and out of a relationship. Brandy is darker than a brown paper bag. She could definitely pull her a white dude. What happened? Chili over here with a white dude 10 years younger than her and don't got as much money as her or fame as her. What y'all talking about? Talking about marrying up. Oops. Lonnie Love still ain't married a white dude yet. And let's be honest, they're both living off of her money and her fame. Oh yeah, so I heard. Yeah, shout out to Trail with that one. Michelle Williams. Yeah, Michelle is back with the white preacher dude, right? Right? Come on, man. So on that note, thank you for coming in, whoever you were, Miss Lady. Speaking about black men's lack of loyalty. Let me see if I can find your comment so we could put that back up. You wanted to shine, you'll get it. Where's that comment? Where that comment went? Right? There we go. When have black men ever been loyal to black women? Crickets chirping. Cute. Do you want to have a conversation about the Ivy Leagues? How many black women giving the vagina up to the white boys in the Ivy League schools? The second tier schools? Huh? And I'm particularly speaking about like ADOS or ADOS adjacent, kind of born and raised in America. I didn't even start talking about the African sisters throwing the vagina, da-da-da, da-da-da, throwing the vagina at white dudes. I didn't even start talking about all the African sisters throwing the vagina at white guys. Y'all better stop playing. And the Caribbean sisters throwing the vagina at the white dudes and the Latino dudes. Like I said, everyone is having sex with everyone. Y'all just don't like the outcomes when it's time to get serious, adult, get married, and present another person as a spouse as your spouse. That's when everybody feelings start getting hurt. Black women's in particular. For real, Indigo Flow, crickets chirping. She thought she cooked. Man, listen, black women, I grew up with y'all. I love y'all. I only date black women. I will only be married to a black woman. With that said, all those little cutesy one-liners and all that, y'all stop. That'd be the same thing that white boys be trying to conquer with their penis. The white man don't have a problem with my sass. He finds it funny when he has his 5, 6, 7-inch member going down your throat with all that sass. Y'all never been around the white dudes, huh? Y'all don't really know how they talk. All that sass, when they're penetrating you, they feel like they're conquering you. You wouldn't know because you don't have real conversations with them. All that sass, when they're shoving their member down your throat, they feel like they're conquering you. Black men get annoyed with it because y'all are our sisters, y'all are our mothers. We know the condescending tone and the looking down and the mommying that comes from that animates that attitude, that sass. The white guys don't care because they ain't planning on being with you for very long anyway. Right? And Cat says, I saw it myself in college, Mr. Z. Mr. Z is not lying. Of course, bro, I know. I know. Right? And those same sisters leave the college environment, come to the hood, and talk about how black women built this, and black women are so loyal, and black women are the backbone of this, and all that shit sound cute. You think we don't know that Brad done been smashing, and y'all been smashing in the car after school for the past 5 months. You think we don't know. And by the way, I'm not about policing black women's vagina. What I'm saying is stop the loyalty talk. You could do what you want to do. Black men been knowing y'all smashing the white guys and the Latino guys. But stop claiming loyalty, though. Stop insulting and implying that black men are not loyal. Stop it. Everybody smashing. The Arab guys are smashing. The South Indian, the South Asian guys that own the Quickie Mart are smashing. Everybody smashing. 1 or 2 Asian guys, a whole lot of Latino guys, and a whole lot of white guys. Everybody smashing black women. Oh, I got the video saved on my I might put it up. I might Cat says they know, Mr. Z, that's what they bring to the table to entice white men. All that slave play and ish. I have the video of the news segment of the black woman who white boyfriend spit on her because they got into an argument because she wanted to play slave play. Tariq Nasheed covered this years ago. Excuse me. And I went and found the story and saved it. Yeah, you heard right. The black woman wanted to play slave play. Her and the white boyfriend got into an argument over it. He ended up spitting on her. She didn't press charges on him. Of course she didn't. But yeah, man, Look, hey, people, stop insulting other people's intelligence, please and thank you. Right? And TJ Honda said, Holly and her white kings fighting on the front lawn on a holiday. If Denzel or any brother did this, news plastered everywhere. It's crazy situation, bro. Exactly. So yeah. So the story I heard was true, right? The French guy getting a foot put in his rear end from the MMA fighting style dude. She got the white guys fight. I think it was Thanksgiving or something like that. And thanks for the super chat, TJ. So I'll pause right there, truly, y'all. Like I said, the internal politics of the black community, other people know, they manipulate them for their own ends. And black women really need to stop talking like other people don't know what's going on in the black community. Number one. Number two, stop talking like the black community isn't a matriarchy, Kim. Number two. Number three, that's why black men are dipping off once they get a chance, oftentimes, not all the times, not most of the times, but many of them often. Okay, number three. Number four, to this young lady that popped up in the comments, stop talking like black women are some special type of loyal being. Y'all are not. Your choices are limited. It's called racism, white supremacy. I don't even blame y'all for it. I don't even blame y'all for it. But you could stop talking like you look. That's what you got to tell yourself to go to sleep at night. Black women are so loyal. No, white men and Latino men are not racist. Their racism doesn't mean that you're more loyal. Stop it. And does that mean that every single white guy that smashes a black woman is not going to end up with a black woman? That doesn't mean that. We know the white guys that marry black women and they stay married and they love y'all for real. And he'll kiss your dirty drawers. I've met them. Those white guys are real. Most white guys that smash black women, hell no. The white men that are about black women are really about black women. But you would never know because y'all make it so easy for them. Right? So I'll truly pause right there. That was my little rant for this morning. Thanks for listening in, y'all. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Um, y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content and other non-Manosphere content, right? And Mr. Z out. Look, man, like I said, these people know about the internal politics in the black community. They manipulate it to their own ends. If they know what's going on halfway around the world and G's Politburo, then they definitely know what's going on in America amongst black Americans, right? And I want us to be careful and to be vigilant. And I want black women to stop pretending like other people don't know and you're not being manipulated. It's not just the black men. Stop it. And the black community is a matriarchy. Shout out to you, Miss Kim from Fort Harriet. And all right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. And like I said, check out other Black Manosphere content and other non-Manosphere content so y'all don't sound ignorant like whatever this young lady that was that popped into my comments. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.